My name is Dan Arthur Busby. In 2017, I wrote Time Machine Emergency, and in 2019, I wrote Lost in Time, Trapped in a Prehistoric World. I work as a registered nurse. I've done that since 1986, full-time without stopping. And my wife and I graduated together, and she was a nurse for a while until polio took over for her. So I was the only support for my family. Got 2 girls and a boy. I first became interested in writing about 4 years ago in 2017 when my wife wrote a book herself. And that kind of opened my eyes and said, hey, why can't I do this too? Before that, I've always been mostly interested in music. I went to college as a music major, but I find that writing is different. It's more exciting in some ways, so I just as soon explore that. I mean, why limit yourself? Actually, I omitted one thing. When I was the age 11, I started writing a book. And I was writing on that book until I was, 25 years old. Off and on, I'd go for years without writing. And it had like 400 pages, and I would even draw pictures and color them in with colored pencils. And just a couple of years ago, a cat peed on it, so the whole book was gone. And I said, okay, well, chalk it up to experience. So I started with a clean slate, and it worked out. Time Machine Emergency is the name of the first book. A young genius student, college student, works for a professor who he's a genius himself, but he's wealthy, and he does experiments in his class. And also geopolitical things are coming to a head where there's going to be nuclear war. The geopolitical aspect of this facilitates the whole adventure. It's an emergency, and that's part of the title of the book. And the other part of it is time machine. So they have to work together to avoid a total annihilation of the world. In fact, they didn't avoid it. But with the time machine, you have the ability to go back and try to fix it. So that's kind of the whole book, is trying to do that. And then trying to find a utopia at the end where they're comfortable living. And that's hard. The title of my second book is Lost in Time. And there are so many TV, movies, and books called Lost in Time, but the subtitle is Trapped in a Prehistoric World. So that's what it's all about. Where another genius, who is a young guy, he did part of the invention of that time machine. And the government took control right away. He had the misfortune of having a co-worker die, and he was blamed for it. But the government at that time hated the idea of paying so much money for lifer criminals. So they decided they would send them all to the Cretaceous period. So this character, the main character, gets sent back to the Cretaceous period. This guy knows how to make a time machine, but in the primitive element back there, can he actually do it? That's the question. Well, I looked backward in time because that's where the adventure is. I've always known that if I had the ability to go back in time myself and replay my life, I would definitely take it and try to make a few more correct turns. But on the other hand, time travel in itself is an amazing adventure. It just presents itself, and it's got so many opportunities for adventure that it's easy to work with as far as that goes.